Y'all are out here looking for a rich man to save you from your debt.
I'm looking for a man in finance with trust fund. 6'5", blue eyes.
Today we're going to talk about credit card debt, but I didn't know this video was going to go the way it went. This is a shock to me. Y'all looking for Captain America, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Clark Kent? I don't know what's going on. I know credit card debt is hard for everybody, but y'all are taking this too far.
I used my credit cards to fill a void in my heart, and now I have $14,000 worth of credit cards to pay off. It wasn't until this year, 2024, that I decided that I was going to try to pay off these credit cards, be done with them, and I was going to take this debt payoff journey seriously. Up until this year, I was hoping a rich man would come rescue me.
Why? Is there more of y'all out there watching this video that's waiting on a rich man to come get y'all out of debt? Just let me know. The internet is a scary place.
I am aware of how dumb that sounds.
That's wild.
But I'm trying to be completely honest and transparent with you guys. Even though my credit cards created a shroud of shame around me, and I didn't want to date, and I didn't want to gain friends, I yet still went on dating apps to go on dates in hopes of meeting a rich man that would fall in love with me madly and did not care about my credit card debt and would just take it on and he wouldn't care. And that sounds incredibly dumb to say out loud, but it's the truth.
I'm so appalled. What? My thoughts about marrying somebody knowing you have debt and expecting them to save you. No shade, but I'd be a little scared to marry somebody that I know has a lot of debt. And what's even crazier is there's people out here that really are racking up debt and looking for somebody else to pay the debt, aka a new husband, new wife. Like, that's wild. I'm not gonna act like it can't be done that someone can take on 14 grand of debt if they really love somebody. I'm just saying it might take some sacrifice. It might take a little side gig or something like that. I think you can knock 14 grand out, but to wish upon a star hoping a man's gonna fall out the sky and just be Superman is wild to me for 14 grand. I'm sorry.
And now I'm going to take my debt journey seriously. I cannot rely on somebody else to help me or help me get out of this in any capacity. I need to do the work, not only because it's my responsibility to do the work, it'll be so much more rewarding, and it will teach me a tough lesson once I am out of this.
Y'all, I was a little lost at first when she said she was looking for her a man to get about this 14 grand. I'm thinking you need to get you a job. You need to get you some more money. I'm glad she's not thinking like that no more. A lot of people are waiting around for somebody or something to come save them, money to fall out the sky, a miracle. I don't know, like win the lotto. The likelihood of certain things like this happening is very rare. I think it's easier to look in the mirror and be like, hey, I messed up. I made some bad decisions, but I can get out of this. Here's a plan of what I can do in order to get out of the situation I put myself in, and just try not to repeat the process, because nobody on earth is perfect. But a solution to the problem is not finding somebody else to solve it for you. A lot of the times it's just you doing the work and figuring a better way to not put yourself in these situations. Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't care if you're a man or if you're a woman. I don't want to pay off nobody's 14 grand in debt. And I don't want nobody trying to marry me talking about, oh, can you pay my 14 grand in debt? You need to take care of that before we tie the knot. That's the way I see it. Like, I need to see some progress, something. And before anybody tries to come at me about my statement, a lot of people are like, oh, well, a man should be able to take care of blah, blah, blah. That's fine and dandy, whatever works in your household. But I'm just saying, if it was your son, if some of y'all got kids and you got a son, y'all mama bears out there and are very, very protective over your son, you would not want your son to be preyed upon by somebody that's in extreme debt or even a little bit of debt, waiting on them to just come be the knight in shining armor to come save them from all their bad financial decisions. And if you wouldn't want it for your son, why is that okay to do to other people? I just don't understand the logic of people. And as a woman, I don't want nobody doing that to me. If the roles was reversed, don't come over here trying to get 14 grand out of me. I don't care how in love we are. Don't do that. Don't use me. That's not okay. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you like these sort of financial videos. I make them all the time on this channel.
About a year ago, I was in 10 grand credit card debt. I had maybe a 570 credit score. I had collection agencies that were after me. I just wasn't in a good financial place, and I didn't want to accept responsibility that it was my fault that I was in this place. I lived under the belief that I would just someday marry a rich man and he would be good at finances, and then at that point I didn't have to worry about it anymore.
This is gonna be the theme for the video. What is up with y'all trying to find a rich man? Y'all, it's scary. Now, these are two different women saying this. Please let me know down in the comments, is this your mindset? Do you know anybody with this sort of mindset when it comes to debt? And hey, I got myself in this situation. I need somebody to come dig me out, or I need to marry somebody so they can take on my debt. That's a wild mindset to have, in my opinion, because I just never imagined looking for somebody else to get me out of a situation I put myself in. And I'm married. And I'm not saying that my husband couldn't. I'm just saying I never existed on this earth just like, yeah, maybe I'm gonna marry a rich man and then he can take care of me and he can pay my bills, and if I'm in extreme debt, he's gonna pay all my debt. Or if I just made dumb decisions, he's just gonna dig me out of my dumb decisions. Because if this is somebody you want to marry, yeah, at this point I need to be a little nosy about your finances. I need to know, are you good with money? Because a lot of marriages end in divorce because of financial reasons. So if you're not responsible with money, how are we gonna be able to build anything? What's to say that you wouldn't rack up more debt if you're not trying to get financially literate, if you're not trying to understand how to be better with money and learn from your mistakes, and instead you're just like, oh, I'm looking for a rich man to give me some money. I don't know.
This would become his responsibility. Well, that didn't happen. What happened instead was I decided to start taking care of myself in every aspect of my life, but finances was a big one. And so now I'm in an abundance place where I have no credit card debt. I have like a 750 credit score, maybe. I haven't checked in a little bit. I have enough money saved up that I get to buy a house this year if I would like to.
Good.
And what that's done for my confidence in my dating is literally wild.
She had a very similar story to the other woman that we just heard about, and I'm glad that she's changed her mindset too. Y'all, it's scary out here. Ooh, y'all got me a little worried in this video. I do wonder, is the dating situation getting better because she's not expecting things of the man and she knows she can take care of herself? Hopefully she finds somebody good in the dating market. Please don't be out here waiting on somebody to save you. If you're in credit card debt, it is way easier, in my opinion, to try to get out of the situation yourself. Do things to avoid credit card debt, like having an emergency fund, a savings account, a 401k, etc., so you can be prepared for the future, and then you won't feel the need to use things like a credit card at a high interest rate. The next thing you know, you're $40,000-$50,000 in debt, looking around for a rich husband. All right, so I did a poll today, y'all. Is it fair for a spouse to pay off all of your debt? 6% said yes, that is what marriage is for. 53% said no, pay off your own debts, Dusty. 2% said only if they truly love you. And 38% said only if they offer first. Y'all, this video about took me out. I want to go over some of the comments in this poll. I feel like it might be a personal choice, to be honest. I wouldn't let my husband pay for my debt unless it's been accrued as a couple's decision. This comment says not fair to expect it, but fair to accept as an offer if given. Your debt, your responsibility. Finances should be talked about before marriage. Even if you're married, doesn't mean you shouldn't take on something that you didn't sign up for initially. Now, if they offer to pay for it, then that's different, but they do not have to because you are married. Bogus. Ooh, fair to expect? No. Fair to take when offered? Hell yeah, girl, get that bag. As long as it's not a tactic being used as a form of financial abuse or manipulation. I see no harm in the rich funding education. However, it needs to happen. Okay? If you came in with that debt, you should pay it off as an adult. I know that in marriage it's a union, but it only becomes that if you make financial decisions as a couple. If you did before the relationship, it's not an obligation for your spouse to pay your dues because you don't want to grow up. If anything, it's nice to have a spouse to help pay, but it shouldn't be an expectation. Act like an adult and be financially responsible. Once you're married, it's jointly owned debt, period. You became a real team. If the person without debt doesn't trust the other, and maybe they shouldn't, don't get married. I feel like before people get married, you should see the finances. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it, so there's no surprises. You should be able to see the bank account. You should know the credit score. You should know what's on their credit history. You should do a full, thorough search, just like how people do when you're putting a tenant in the house. Do the same thing for your spouse. Yeah, be nosy. Why not? Because all of a sudden, when you become married, it's, oh, well, y'all are joint. If you don't want to be bamboozled and tricked, you better pull that debt facts. I just made that up on the fly. The debt facts, though, is when you seeing how much debt they have before you get married. Pull the debt facts. Just like a car fact, when you're trying to see if it had damages before you buy the car. Pull the debt facts before you get married. You need to know everything about that person's financial situation before you get in too deep. I'm not saying there's anything inherently wrong with going into a marriage with debt, but a lot of people will trick you and then you get married and all of a sudden it's like, oh, now you have $70,000 in debt that I didn't know about and you're looking at me to help you out. Nope. Pull the debt facts. And I would just ask, if the person that you want to get married to is not willing to show you their finances, for one, they hiding something. What are they hiding? Two, if they're not willing to work on the finances before you get married, that's a red flag. Flag on the play. Because what are they going to do and how are they going to act and how are they going to spend? Because if they're not willing to take care of stuff on their own, when y'all are together, when y'all are one, when y'all are joined legally, financially and all of that, what they do is going to affect you and it will affect your marriage. I don't know why people just think, oh, it's not a big deal. If you're a person that likes to save for the future and you've been doing this before you got married and you marry somebody who's just a shopaholic, who doesn't care anything about the future, that has this YOLO type mentality, how do you think that your finances are going to look being married to somebody like that? That's probably going to cause some turmoil in the marriage because you all don't think alike. You're not on the same page. While you're trying to prepare for the future, your spouse might just be like, oh, I need to impress people. I need to buy this. I need to live for now. I need to do this. I need to do all these things that don't really matter. And here you are trying to be financially responsible. There's going to be some friction there. There's going to be a lot of arguments about that. That's just what I think. So I asked a follow-up question in a separate poll. Should women help pay their husband's debts? 6% said, hell no, men should support us. 45% said, only if he's paying our bills too. 36% said, yes, we're a team. And 13% said never. Men should handle their own. Somebody said, bestie, this is not Twitter. Why are you choosing violence? I just wanted to see if it was still going to be UNITY if the roles were reversed. But y'all, let me know what you think down below. It's a scary world we live in. Y'all be safe out there. We have to start making better decisions today in order to have a better future.